What's up guys, DoubleDragon here with more PTR footage, in this case a boss guide. Jin'rokh the Breaker, the very first boss in the Throne of Thunder, or the first boss in the first tier of LFRs for tier 15. Now there is no lore for this guy, he just came up on the PTR, all the guides, all the strats, so I'm going to jump right into it. First of all, you've got Conductive Waters. Now you stand in it for 40% increased healing and 30% increased damage, but for every second you're in the water, you will take increased nature damage. Now, that's not damage per se, it's just you will take increased damage from the other abilities. Now, Conduction, his abilities travel through conductive waters, inflicting nature damage to all players in that conductive water. Now, Electrified Waters, sometimes he will electrify a water, and that essentially just means you get out of it. You get out of the conductive waters, because otherwise you'll take damage. That is all there is to it. You want to stand in the conductive waters, you want to get out of electrified waters. Now, every so often, he's going to throw a tank at a statue and inflicts a lot of damage, so you got to prepare for that. And you don't ever want to be standing near a statue, because if you're within 14 yards of the point of impact, it will stun you for 9 seconds. Now, every time he does that, conductive waters will erupt, and that is how you get the conductive waters. You want this to happen. You want to heal through the damage, and that's how it goes. Now, Lightning Storm, every time the boss does a Lightning Storm, he's going to inflict 55,000 nature damage to all players every second for 15 seconds. Alright, so that's just like a separate phase. You call that Lightning Storm. Everyone takes damage. However, the Lightning Storm causes any non-electrified conductive waters to become electrified water. So, whenever Lightning Storm happens, you get out of the water. Alright, that is imperative. You get out of it, no matter what. Now, the other two mechanics, and these are the most important ones, Static Burst, so he will strike the tank for 100,000 damage and apply a debuff. When the tank gets this debuff, it inflicts 12,000 physical damage per charge every second. Now, the effect stacks but dissipates gradually while not in conductive water. So, the tank, I don't necessarily think the tank has to stand in conductive waters in this fight for any reason. So, the fact that it dissipates when you're not in the conductive waters, that unless there's nowhere else to stand but electrified or conductive waters, and which doesn't make any sense to me, that'd be a really difficult fight. I would just say that the tank never stands in water. Okay. Conduction. So the static wound, his debuff will travel through the water, inflicting damage to all players within the water. But if he's not in the water, that doesn't matter, does it? So yeah. Focus Lightning. He's going to create an orb that will chase a player, a fix 8. And if it hits you, it'll inflict 150,000 nature damage to all players within 5 yards. Now, you kind of want this to happen, but you only want it to happen in like a certain context, and I'll explain that right now. So, you don't want to drag this orb near other players. However, you want to drag it into a conductive water. But you don't want other players to be in that conductive water. Alright, so let me give you a situation. You're running around, you got an orb chasing you, and you've got to call out to your team, guys, get out of this conductive water because I need to drop my orb there for it to explode. So everyone gets out of it, you drop the orb, it explodes on you, then you move out, everyone moves back, everyone moves back into the conductive waters. That's it, alright? That's all there is to it. Every time you drop one of these orbs into the conductive waters, it will mean you won't have this void zone, this electrified void zone, because if you explode them outside of the conductive waters, it'll leave behind this electric void zone that you don't want, because otherwise they will stack up and I don't think you can get rid of them. And you never want, for like, say 2 people are running around with these orbs, you never want them to touch each other, because when they do touch each other, they'll implode and kill everyone. So that's all there is to the fight. Let me give you a quick recap. So, you want to stand in conductive waters at all times for a buff. You do not want to stand in electrified waters at any point. The tank's going to get thrown for a lot of damage. Heal him through it. No one stand near a statue. And when that happens, conductive water will appear. Lightning Storm. Heal everyone through it. Don't stand in water. Don't stand in any water whatsoever. Static Burst. He's going to inflict 100,000 damage to all players. He's going to apply a debuff to the tank. So don't stand in the conductive water. Don't stand in any water. Unless there's a mechanic I'm missing out, don't stand in water at any point in tanks. Just don't do it. Focus Lightning is going to create an orb that will chase you. When that happens, you got to tell everyone to move out of conductive water. Let the orb hit you inside of water. Then immediately move out or get your team back in or what have you, and never touch an orb with another orb because it will kill you in one hit. Now this fight is kind of complicated for a very first encounter. I've had a look through the other fights, about 8 of them, and this one is, I would appreciate a gear check instead of something this confusing. It's not overly, it's not ridiculously confusing, but still, for like an entry level fight, I'm not overly happy about it. But I do like that it gives some difficulty, right? That's always good. So anyway guys, stick around for more PTR footage, more guides. I will do a more detailed animated guide closer to the live release. Have a good one. See you later.